It's your girl Jazzy K with Super Tight TV. We want to thank everyone that's been watching. Hey, if you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, also press the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
You're not tuned in to something super tight. Puffin' something sticky, nigga, I roll through the light. Need to hear something real just to get me through the night. I'm looking for them jackets cause I know they looking shite. Know I'ma get some game, tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.
Already, baby, what it do? It's your big dog, Bobo Luciano. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in to Super Tight TV. We back, up your back, going smack, smack, smack. Just like that. And I hope it feel good to you too, because damn, sure feel good to me. I got my sexy ass, gorgeous, beautiful wife.
It's your girl Jazzy K.
In the building.
In the B.I.G.
Hey, baby, today we got a family member.
Absolutely.
You know we all about positivity and keeping it,
Yeah, I'm loving this evening.
Yeah, I'm
feeling
loving
all
it.
uplifted and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
having me some coffee.
some coffee.
Hey.
Yeah. She done made us some coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Say, again, family, y'all know we ain't all about these streets. Even though we
are.
You know, we
Still
are.
about the streets.
I said we ain't just all about the streets.
But that's what we got to talk about.
Well, we're gonna talk about the streets, but we're gonna come talk about
A redemptive path
like a
forward from the
phoenix.
streets.
Like a phoenix. This man like a phoenix. He was in the fire and he rose up out the fire like a phoenix.
There you go.
That sound good, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Like a phoenix,
You want to
baby.
introduce our guest?
That's what I'm doing now.
Come on now. Come on.
Hey,
In a minute and a half.
hey, bro, you know what happened? Bro,
Yeah.
they don't stop the greatness.
I'm
You know what
just
I'm talking
saying.
about? Hey, I don't know how. Do y'all want to call him Bruce Wayne or do you want to call him Antoine Lucky's in the building? I said Antong Lucky.
Yeah.
Y'all said Antoine?
You did.
My bad, Antong,
okay.
and I know it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
My bad, bro. And I know damn well
Yeah.
better to
talked
do it
about
like
this.
that.
It's okay.
Good stuff.
Dallas in the house.
Hey.
Yeah. We here. Hey, you know what was funny, man? When you started introducing, you said my sex. I was like, hold up, bro.
Pause.
Hold up.
You don't watch my show.
Yeah.
You must don't watch the show.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
No, that was for me.
Yeah, that was for you.
Yeah, I gotta give it up to us.
Man, thank y'all for having me.
Bro, thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure for you to be sitting amongst us.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Bobo, you know I've been watching you for years, bro.
Really were.
Man, I've been watching. You just said that I know Squeaky Man.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Squeaky. That's
Shout
that
out
family.
Squeaky Man.
Come on, man.
Shout
That
out
sounds
Mr. Parker.
so you family then.
Yes, indeed.
I read it.
Yeah.
Did we just see each other at the video shoot?
We just did.
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice one for
Yeah.
the city.
Nah, for real.
No, for real.
No, for real.
Already.
Shout
Nah,
out
for
Big
real.
Homie
Big
Show.
homie.
So, being that you are, we're going to talk about what neighborhood, but being that we know that you are from Dallas.
Right.
Dallas is in the great state of Texas.
Yes, indeed.
And you see yourself at the great state of Texas table.
I see it, man.
And we are from North Texas.
Same thing.
You see the
Yes, indeed.
blue star.
Yeah.
I need positive energy
Yeah.
from you for our platform.
Yes.
And I need you to taste, because I mean, we've had so many people, so many great people rub that star and live positive energy. You need that, bro. You need that.
Man,
Rub that.
yes,
I mean,
indeed.
scratch it like a DJ.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Get that, man.
Yeah.
You gonna man tomorrow? You gonna bless somebody tomorrow? Why?
Yes.
You gonna drop some jewels tonight? I know.
I'm
Yes.
ready.
You say yeah. So we gonna let it. Let my beautiful wife get it started, because you know we like to dig deep.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Lucky. So for those that don't know you, first let's start off by letting everybody know where you from, what you represent.
Yeah, man. I'm from Dallas, East Dallas to be exact. That's where I was
Already?
born and raised. Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to East Dallas.
What high school?
I went to James Madison for a little bit, but I got kicked out. So
Uh-oh.
James Madison.
Here we go,
a minute.
Madison, and then
yeah.
And then where?
Penn State.
Oh, Penitentiary
That'll do it.
University.
Yeah. Penn
I
State.
feel you. I feel you.
gonna
How
tap
old
in.
was that?
Man, I was 20. 20 when I went to Penn State.
Already. So
young man.
Yeah.
coming up in your household, mom, dad, both there.
Yeah, my coming up, born in the projects, coming up, my father when I was 9 months, got sentenced to 50 years in prison, right? And so he ultimately did 50 years. Well, he did 37 years out of that 50.
Oh,
For
God.
what?
Aggravated robbery, I believe.
He hit that. They
Come
tried
on
to
now.
hide
50
him.
years?
50 years, yeah. He did 37 years flat. I met him when he was 37.
And wasn't nobody murdered.
37. When I was 37. Nobody wasn't murdered.
You know what I'm talking about?
So was that a? Did he rob a bank or was he robbed the individual?
No,
I'm trying to figure out was it state or federal.
Yeah, no, it was state, and it was a store. But his friend said he wanted the one, but you know, that's the story. We all got that story.
Yes.
Yeah. So
You was raised knowing that story.
yes,
huh?
indeed.
Already.
Yeah.
What
So-
projects? I mean, what projects? Were
Frazier Courts.
already Frazier Court.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, baby. I ain't gonna cut y'all.
I just have to ask, how did it affect you coming up as a young man, having your father incarcerated?
Oh, it sorely impacted me. You know, because when my father went to prison, my mother at 16 went to work. Right, and she dropped out of school and went to work. He went to prison. She closed that chapter. Right, she closed that chapter. She never looked back. She went to work. And for me, coming up as a kid, I remember vividly not having anyone to explain to me about my father. Yeah, my dad. I'm talking about that was just like a subject that nobody. Only time I learned it was taboo. Only time I learned about him is when somebody said, "Man, you look like your daddy." And I used to be a kid, like wanting to hear more, but I was too embarrassed to even ask. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So it definitely affected me. But for me, I put all of my talents into school. Right.
That's what's
So I became an A on the roll student,
okay.
talented and gifted student.
Okay.
Not the tag.
I was in tag.
Already.
Talented and gifted. But what ended up happening was though, and I was, I had a big family.
Yeah.
The Luckies, that's my last name. The Luckies was like one of the biggest families in East Dallas, right? We were the biggest family. We got into a lot of stuff. My cousins, they were, and my uncles, and they had reputations, right?
Yeah.
But I was focused on school, man. I was really placing my energy in school. But, back then, they were busing us to other neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
And as early as I can remember, there were kids who, we would just fight every day.
Tried to bully you.
Tried to bully another neighborhood, and they were busing us. So like the bus leave at 4 o'clock. The bus leave at school get out at 4 o'clock. The bus leave at 4:02.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're on the other end of the school.
Pew, they gone.
The bus is gone. So you know what? My survival depends on how fast I can run or how hard I can fight.
Now, when you say bully,
Yeah.
paint a picture for these kids today of what bullying.
I think it's just
really
bullying is just kids who are trying to compensate for what they don't have. It's kids who dealing with some issues and they take it out on other kids, right? And they take it out on other kids. That's bullying.
Yeah.
And depending on what neighborhood you from and what circumstances you from,
Bullying look a
depends
little
on the
different.
extreme
Right.
bullying that you have.
Right.
So you mentioned something else I was going to ask. I need to start writing down notes.
Yeah, you
But
You laughed at me.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
my pen.
yeah, I did. But you mentioned being bused to a different neighborhood.
Right.
So we're gonna talk to the people from Dallas to make
Right.
them understand. And we're gonna talk to all our family members.
Yeah.
East Dallas is bumped up right up against South Dallas. right?
Exactly.
So, what neighborhood did you get from East Dallas get bused to?
We got bused to South Dallas.
Okay,
Which was separated by Percy Anderson, right? So
Yes.
we grew up in the projects, and we end up going to school at Percy Anderson, which was on Second, right?
Yes.
Which was on Second, and Second separated East Dallas. It's one street that separates East Dallas from South Dallas. It's South Dallas on the map.
Yep.
But in the neighborhood, to the locals, is Second Avenue. You cross over Second, you
You in East Dallas.
yes, or
All the other way.
exactly. So Percy Anderson was on Second.
What years were this?
It's like 88, 89, 87, up in there.
So let me tell y'all. Let me draw.
85.
Let me draw another picture.
Yeah.
For the people. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know you already know.
Yes.
During that time, you can correct me if I'm wrong. South Dallas had a lot of blue.
It was no such thing as red at that time.
Yes.
It was all blue. It was, as far back as I can remember, kids were already claiming the Crip gang.
Yeah, from Trey 57.
Trey 57,
Yeah.
187, 4 Deuce. It was all these neighborhoods, and mind you, my neighborhood, East Dallas, we didn't have no affiliation.
Yes.
We didn't have no affiliation. We were just a neighborhood in Dallas of a bunch of rough, rugged, you don't go over that type of neighborhood, but we didn't have no gang affiliation.
Yeah.
And so what would happen was all these dudes that we would meet up at the school with, they were gang affiliated, and we would fight them.
Yes.
So we would fight them, always fight them. But they was already Crips.
They was already organized too, because they was Crips.
Yeah. As far back as I can remember in Dallas, you had Dixon Trade 57, you had 4 Dude, you had 187.
Yep.
As far as you can remember.
Oh yeah. I remember when
It was no such thing as red.
I remember. I'm older than you.
Yes.
I remember when it started.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know the individual who helped spearhead that.
Yeah.
So, I read in your bio, we both read. That's kind of how, what tipped you into that direction.
Right.
A little bullying.
Right.
From the other color.
Right.
You had enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do something.
Right.
What made you say, did you do any research? What made you say, okay, I'm about to start a blood gang?
No, it was just a lot of the dudes we fought, they wore blue. From elementary all the way up into junior high. Junior high went to John B. Hood. They busted to Pleasant Grove.
Yes.
Boys in the hood is always hard.
Yeah.
I'm talking that track. Yeah.
Pull your car.
Yeah. So look, at Hood, so now you introducing Pleasant Grove, and they were Crips. You know, Georgetown, y'all remember the apartments, Georgetown and all that?
Yeah.
So look, at school, it was a young man that was a part of the Crip gang.
Yeah.
Who me and him, the rumors were that we were going to fight, which we were.
Yeah.
Right? So we get to school that day.
What grade you in?
I'm in the 7th.
Okay.
Middle school, John B.
Seventh grade. It's 40, 50 Crips. It's probably about 10 of us. But the 10 that we with, we gonna take on 100.
Yeah.
You feel me? And when I get to school, about 10 of us and the young lady, my homegirl. Shout out to V. And I called the dude out. Because I was ready. They had the whole crowd. Apparently he didn't want to fight. And I'm not saying this to glamour, I'm just giving you the story.
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight. And so all I heard was shoot him.
Oh.
And so my homegirl, right, who down by law, jumped in front of me and said, "You got to shoot me." Bow! Gunshot go off. Couple gunshots go off. They shoot us. They shot in the stomach. We was in 7th grade. And that right there triggered something.
Yeah.
That triggered something in me. But at that point, we didn't say we're gonna create a gang or nothing like that.
Yeah.
We were just into revenge of those dudes who did it, that. But it wasn't till about 1993. I had just got home from state school because I went and spent a year in state school.
For what?
Drugs.
Crack?
Because by this time I got away from school because survival was the name of the game. It wasn't. Good kids get bullied. This is what's going on in the neighborhood. You gotta be tough, gotta be rough. And so I got away from school. My grades started slipping. I remember when that happened. So 1993, I'm standing out, me and some friends. Some dudes walked through our neighborhood. They did a walk by. And they had like 3 AKs, right?
Yeah.
And they went to gunning at us. They was probably about 50 yards away. And they was shooting, and we hit the ground, man. They were knocking bricks off the wall, right?
Yeah.
And it was 2 little kids who was in the car that we fell behind. They was knocking. They would Swiss cheese in the car, and the kids were crying. I remember like saying, "Get down." And luckily, but I ain't gonna say luckily, but one of the little kids, he a grown man today. The AK blew his whole finger off, like his whole hand, his finger.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, right, me and a couple of my cousins said, and prior to that, the movie Colors was circulating. You remember Colors?
Come on now.
And I remember when we was watching Colors, right, for us,
Yep.
we said, the enemy, the opposite to the dudes that wear blue, the Crips, is the Bloods. We watched the movie Colors, right?
Yeah.
That played a big part. But after that incident, man, we went to Jack the Ripper on 2nd. You got to be old to know Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Jack the Ripper, and we went to all of the bazaars, and we bought all the red rags and red shirts and red that you can think of.
Yeah.
And we rolled neighborhood to neighborhood and said, "We the Bloods." 415 Bloods. I'll never forget that.
How old were you at that age?
Had to be about 14, 15, somewhere up in there.
Was you already driving?
Yeah,
Already in the car driving?
yeah.
So you went to these different neighborhoods to announce that y'all Bloods.
Was that a
What were
recruitment?
y'all recruiting? What were you
Nah,
just
we were
making
just
an
let-
announcement?
yeah,
Just
we
letting
were-
it be known?
We were letting it known that it's finna be some trouble in the city. It's finna be some smoke in the city.
Some furniture moving.
We said it's finna be some furniture moving, and we finna be tough in the city. And I'm gonna tell you, from 1993 to about 1995, when the feds raided us, it was probably the most deadliest year in Dallas for gang activity.
From 93.
To 95, the feds hit us in 95.
So let me explain to people who are a little bit younger than us and are in the gang lifestyle, and they want to try to research how this started. Because you mentioned some things that I've always said, and I'm in agreement with you. The movie Colors and NWA probably affected a lot of cities when it came to gang banging.
No doubt about it.
I can remember when the movie Colors came out. You remember when they used to have that movie theater over off Westmoreland? It was called UA8.
Yes, indeed.
It's a church now.
Yes, indeed. I know exactly.
They were shooting, killing. And this was in the middle of, on the borderline of Duncanville, still Oak Cliff, though. But yeah, that was the start of it all.
Yeah, that's what it was going down.
Or if it didn't start it, it educated a lot of folks, just like you said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the Blues are doing this, I got to be. Even the Hispanic game started.
Man, I'm going to tell you, man, we would, during that time, because we said we were going to be the roughest, toughest, most deadliest gang ever when we started, right? And when I tell you, man, boy, it's the grace of God that I'm sitting here with you. You hear me?
Yes.
No, it's the grace of God.
Yeah.
It's the grace of God, because at that particular, I remember we had two friends, man. They were from 49 King, rest in peace, Tennessee and Pooh. They were some little blood dudes out 49 King. And they was out of Oak Cliff, right? We from East Dallas.
Yeah.
But they were the only ones that we ran into who had the heart and the go hard and the never quit and you gonna win at all cost mentality that we had, right?
Yeah.
And these little brothers, man, I never forget them, man. During that time, man, they caused havoc in hell. You feel me? Because the blood thing was new. You remember back, back
you
then?
had something to prove.
Yeah, it was 25 to 1.
Yes,
it was 25 to 1. So we had something to prove. So look.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to glamorize it. I'm just giving you the story.
I want you to.
Tennessee and Pooh, rest their soul, man. Them little brothers put in some major work, boy. Them little brothers were dangerous. And I remember they both got killed together in 1994.
What part of Oak Cliff were they from?
Keystone Pope.
Oh.
49 King. So look. So we go, me and my cousin and my partner go to the funeral. It's a double funeral. Their mama had a double funeral at Sandra Clark, right?
Yeah.
And I remember us going there, right? And we had on red Dickies shirts. We had a red shirt, black Dickies, red Chucks, flags everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I still, for me, I feel like I was a good kid. Oh. But the neighborhood turned, like a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
So I still had my grandmama and them in me in terms of respect, right? So we going into this church house, and I'm feeling some type of way because I don't want to go in this church house looking like no gang member. You go to church house, you supposed to put on some nice clothes, slacks and all that. And me and my cousins, we got on red shirts, bandanas, Dickies.
When did it hit you? Oh shit, I shouldn't be dressed like this.
Before we walked at the door.
At the door.
Soon we walked to the door. So look.
The church you already
No, what I'm trying to say is, he wasn't thinking that when he got dressed.
No, I wasn't thinking that. But look, when we opened the door of the church house, it was a sea of red. Everybody in there was flamed up except they mamas.
I know that.
They was in the casket with red shirts, white dick overalls, red rags. Everybody in there. You feel me? And you got to understand, for us, right? Because we had been putting in a lot of work. For us, this was the first time we seen bloods from other places. Because we never knew they existed. Right?
Yeah.
And so check this out, right? So they had a double funeral. And I remember that funeral, man. It was 1994, man. It was police on every block.
Yes, sir.
And they didn't mess with us. They just watched. Every corner you turn, it's like the whole police force was in Dallas because they knew about this funeral in 1994. And look, so we lead the church, headed down to Lincoln Memorial, right?
Yep.
And when I tell you, man, the whole scene looked like it made colors look
Something out of a movie.
Oh, it made colors look, and we zigzagged all the way down, hanging out the window, guns out the window, down Ledbetter.
Okay. Oh, y'all went that way.
We going down
Y'all went the
Ledbetter.
long way. So y'all cut it through the middle. Yeah.
We did this, Bobo. Look,
Yeah.
all the way down.
Swinging and banging.
And it was murder in our eyes too, cause it was murder, right?
Okay.
And the police, they watched this whole fiasco play out. They didn't do nothing. They didn't stop no car.
Because gangbang was new to Dallas at the time. They didn't know what to expect.
They didn't know what to expect. But check this out. So we get to the graveyard. They bury him. I mean, they put him in the grave. And so when they put him in the grave, all of these bloods, I'm talking about white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, we had never seen. They were coming from Plano, from everywhere, Garland.
Yeah.
And they were paying homage to me, my cousin, and my partner. They were paying homage to us. They heard about us, right?
Yeah.
So they was like, oh, gee, what we doing?
They want to know what's up.
So we at the cemetery. So we say, look, now it's hundreds of blood that we ain't never seen before.
Yeah.
And they paying homage to us. So we say, you know what? Meet us in East Dallas, and we finna go make every set in Dallas pay. We're gonna make every crib neighborhood pay. Meet us in East Dallas, right? That's what we said.
Yeah.
When we pulled out the graveyard,
Yeah.
the police pulled over every car except the hearse.
Dang.
They pulled over every car except the hearse. And you know what? When I look back at it in hindsight,
Thank God they did.
I thank God they did, boy. I thank God because all those people, they were ready to go kill some people.
And they were waiting on you to get a word.
We were given the word.
Yes.
Done gave.
That's what. Look, I'm standing there when they paying homage. It's messing me up. But I'm talking about white, Mexican, Puerto Rican,
All blood.
They flamed up and they saying, "Oh, gee, what we finna do?"
Lord.
So let's talk about that. So you're known as one of the founding members. Do you think that was the first blood set in Dallas?
That was East Dallas 415 was the first blood set that I knew of.
Okay.
Because I didn't know no more. We didn't see no more until to that funeral. That was a little bit later.
I didn't hear about no bloods until East Dallas.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't know no more. That funeral, when we went to Tien and Pooh funeral, that's when I said, "Whoa, what you niggas?
Tell me this.
Where y'all been?"
Do you remember the circumstances behind Tien and Pooh's murder?
I can't remember. What exactly happened. It's been so long ago. But I know they both got killed together though. But I don't remember the circumstance.
Now I know this may sound cliche, but I'd like to ask for anyone else that may be in the same situation. Do you feel that not having a father in your life influenced you to life?
Yeah, I think it played a part. I think it played a part in a lot of young brothers' life that don't have their father. Now that's the most important. I can't wait to be on the other side of this. But that's
or a father who's
there.
Who's present. A father who's there but ain't really doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I think that definitely played a part in my life and a lot of my peers. Like, cause you gotta understand, man. When I was 15, 16, 17 years old, everybody that I hung with caught a murder case, except me.
Look at God.
When I started writing my book, and I looked at all of my immediate, like how we in here right here.
Yeah.
Murder case.
That's how it was.
Everybody caught a murder case, except me.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I was like a Geico, man. You know, like I was in, but I wasn't. Like my friends, they was all the way, and they played their whole life.
Well, I had a conscience. I'm gonna tell you what it was. You just mentioned it when you said because of the way you was raised.
Yes.
Going into that church.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Yeah.
That word that she just said
Yes.
is the word I wanted to mention
Man,
then.
I had
because I felt that when I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And all my other homeboys, like you said, I hung with murderers.
Man.
You know what I mean? And I knew they were murderers. And something about me was like,
And I'm gonna tell you what was. I'm gonna tell you something that was. We had a lot of partners, a lot of blood partners from Fort Worth, right? Stop Six. And this what we used to do back in the day. So all our Stop Six blood partners would come to Dallas, and they go put in work for us, and then we'll come to Fort Worth because back then the police couldn't get you because they didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
So on our work, we'll be somewhere. We was calculated. So we'll be somewhere where we accounted for, and our Fort Worth homeboys would take care of their business. And I'm gonna tell you, man. And back then, I will say this, man. Our Fort Worth partners, man, they were crazy. Boy. They were crazy.
About it.
Now let me ask you this:
they were crazy.
Did you guys begin organizing as a gang once you saw the other blood?
Now we was already we were doing what we were doing because we were doing what we were doing. We was organized as a neighborhood, but we didn't have whatever everybody else was doing. We had no knowledge of.
So y'all never did link up. What I meant was like after you at the funeral and you saw it was all this red and that it was bloods from everywhere.
Yeah,
what did they do?
Y'all start linking up, organizing as one.
Yeah, we did, but not as one. What would happen? The bloods from everywhere else used to come to our neighborhood like it was Mecca, like this where they started, like Inglewood or something. They would come to pay homage because this how they got put down. They
suck up game.
Yeah, exactly. All my partners who was in TYC, they were putting them down everywhere. We didn't know them. They were putting them down, so they would come back to the neighborhood, kind of paying homage. So so that's how we end up saying, okay, y'all go do this, y'all go do that, y'all go do this like that because, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You were so you how many? 3 of y'all?
About 4 of us.
4 of y'all, the OGs.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel? Because I understand the question she was saying. Did that take the game to another level?
Oh, it did. That was my first realization as a leader. That was my first, because at first we were just we always had heart and all that kind of stuff. So that was the first time realizing like you're a leader. Because they were really paying homage. They were, man, I remember, look, we had some Fort Worth partners come in one time. They was going to put in some work on these Crips. And man, I remember it was back doing when the Cowboys was kind of hot, just won the Super Bowl.
90s,
93, 95.
Look, and so look, we leaving this place, right? Because we was stalking these dudes at a party, but the police were kind of messing up the flow. So we were leaving, right?
Yeah.
So we had parked way down the street. And man, we was our Fort Worth partners. So one of my Fort Worth partners, man, I have just happened to look back. And it was a dude, man, he had a Cowboy Emmitt Smith jersey on, he was pumping gas. Had no clue whatsoever. And my little homie was creeping up on him with a big gun. And this dude in the car, I know he ain't no gang member. He just got on a Cowboy jersey.
Yeah.
But he finna smoke him.
Because he got on blue.
And I look, because he had on blue. And I look back and I said, I just look back in the nick of time. I said, hey, come on. Yeah. And it startled him.
Yeah.
And he came on. Saved that dude life.
Oh, yeah, you did.
You feel me?
Yeah, you did.
Man, and it was many instances like that because I had a conscience, bro.
Yeah.
It was many instances where, because I wasn't just.
That makes a good leader. That makes a good leader, though.
Yeah.
That makes a good OG. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because they consider you an OG. Mm-hmm. How long were you in that life?
Man, a couple of years. I got heavy in the drugs. Yeah. So the feds hit my neck.
Now, when you say heavy in the drugs, which side we talking about?
I'm talking about
cocaine.
Selling drugs.
Got that.
Correct. So look. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So look, the feds raided our neighborhood in 1995, wiped out about 48 people, 24, 48 people. It was on the news, everything. They wiped out all of my partners. I missed the draft. I missed that draft. They had 2 indictments left with me and my partner, and everybody thought it was we missed the draft, right? Yeah. But they got everybody else. So it cleaned the streets. And so that's when my drug took off. So I started slanging, opened up houses, blah, blah, blah. For long, I'm scoring 2-3 keys a week.
Yeah.
Like that. So that kind of took me away from the gang stuff, even though it was still prevalent.
To the hustler side.
It took me to, you know, I'm wearing gators and I'm going to prime time 21, you know, and I'm a youngster. I was young wearing out, you know. So and that lifestyle kicked in.
Yeah. You know what? I heard this story before from Trent. I mean, he talked about how he started in the in the gangbanging life,
Right.
and then graduated to, nigga, it's about money now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about you in this book you got
The
here.
glow up.
Okay.
Huh?
Well,
What you say, baby?
before the book.
Yeah.
Got a little bit to go before the book.
Yeah, we do.
What put you on your redemptive path forward? What happened?
Yeah, I like how she said that.
There you
My
go.
redemptive. Now, what happened was, I ended up getting arrested, October 1996.
For what?
Drugs. I was at one of my houses. I just pulled up, and I was finna go in and get the money and all that good stuff. I didn't get a chance to because the police raided.
Yeah.
So I laid down. That was their opportunity to get me because they knew that I had all the drug houses. So they took that opportunity, took the drugs off the dude, put it on me, and I ended up in jail. My baby mom was pregnant, my first daughter. And so it was during that time, Tupac had just dropped. So 1996, y'all already know, Tupac just passed, but he had dropped some CDs, Living Down There, yes. And I remember, man, y'all know how Tupac was to us,
Yes.
to our generation.
Come on, to the South.
Yeah, man, you know how he was to us. So,
Sorry, Casey.
yeah, man, you know how Pac was to us.
Come on, man. We
ain't-
rolling with Pop.
Yeah, we rolling with Pac. You feel me? And
Yes.
so, look, man, he dropped that Living Down in LA. It was right during the time I had a baby. My daughter was born.
Yeah.
And I was reminiscing and being reflective of the fact that I'm facing penitentiary time, that these officers lying on me, that I'm gonna be gone. And then I'm thinking about how this gonna affect my daughter in the same way that it affected me when my father got snatched out. You feel me? And so all this happened at the same time. Tupac dropped that Machiavelli when that Living Down in LA came on. He said these bars that changed my life. He said, learn about the West Coast, B's and C's. These other dudes copycat, E's to G's. When Pac said that, man, that pierced me. It pierced my soul
Yep.
with everything that was going on with me and going to court.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to court facing penitentiary time.
Yes.
You feel me? And so I never forget, I was standing in front of the judge and I was really expecting to go home because my daughter was born May 7th, this May 21st. And the judge told me that I was a menace to society.
Sit down.
I've heard that on a couple of occasions from my friends, bro.
And he sent me to prison. He gave me 7 years. And you know what? Right at that moment, right, I remember having a conversation in my head saying, but Judge, you don't understand, man. I'm from East Dallas, man. You got to be this way. You got to be tougher. That ain't really who we are, but we got to be like this to survive in our neighborhood. I was having this conversation, and it never came out of my mouth.
Because you knew they wasn't going to get it.
You know they weren't gonna care about that.
You
Say.
can try to explain.
I was trying to explain, like, hey, Judge,
Let's
you know,
stop.
like,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah,
They finna hit you with that
Judge.
ignorance
The
of the
judge.
law is
Yeah.
no excuse.
Black, white.
white judge, old white judge.
It don't make a difference.
Back then.
Because at then, no, it don't. Because
He didn't even look up.
Back then, you had Barack, and you had Judge Crusoe, who was hiding people.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
Brothers.
Judge Baraka.
So that's why I said Baraka.
So
you know Judge Baraka was
Man,
hiding.
I had an attorney, a white attorney, because back then you thought the white attorney could get you off. I had a white attorney. I paid $15,000 right in 1996,
They were cleaning up.
and he told me, yeah, they was. He told me, he said, man, we got this, because the dude who used to work for me, he signed affidavit. Everybody signed affidavit. When we got ready to go to trial, right?
Yeah.
Some just told me to ask my lawyer because I had a friend who was from South Dallas who was in trial.
Yeah.
And so he was in trial. He was popular same way, going to trial while I'm picking the jury. And while he going to trial, his family bust out the courtroom and they come running out screaming. And I said, what happened?
He got off.
They gave him 20 years.
Ooh.
And me and his situation was the same. We had some black officers because back then, them officers, black and white, they put them drugs on you. They plant the drugs on you.
Not Smitty and Swanee.
Oh, yeah, you know Batman.
Remember Smitty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, man, they put the drugs on you. And so when they say he had 20 years, they got 20 years. I said, oh man, I feel weak.
Don't look
I
good
bet.
for me. I know.
I bet.
Right?
Cause we've been talking about we've been
weak in the knees.
I got weak in knees. So, look, I said, I tell the lawyer, I said, how you feeling, man? I said that real sheepish, like, man, how you
what
feeling,
you
man?
thinking?
You know what he said?
What?
White lawyer. He said, well, Antong, he said 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get an all-white jury who's not gonna be able to identify with a kid from South Dallas. You're gonna get a prosecutor who gonna want to fry you, and a judge.
Yeah.
We could go in there. It's a 50-50 chance.
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
I thought it's supposed to be a jury of your peers.
It's other factors, but that's just it. Our peers a lot of times
Yeah.
ain't going in there to
Yeah.
sit on
No,
the
that's
jury.
not what I'm
I
saying.
got
though.
weak.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
Just saying it's the truth.
They
got weak.
said
I know
it's supposed to
you
be a jury of your peers. So how they picking all white juries
Yeah.
when it's some black people?
If your peers
but-
are not available to
They're
attend
there.
jury duty.
I was just finna say,
Okay.
and my new understanding, and that's something we got to address on a later day.
That
Black
part.
people throwing away them jury sermons.
You gotta
show
That's
up.
why that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you know we'll get out of that jury sermon. That's how we get all that time. 'Cause-
The census too.
yeah.
So let's go on this.
Anyway.
Okay.
Because you already served your time.
Now I went to. So this what happened. You said.
Maybe I got to ask one question.
Yeah.
How much money do you think you were making at the height of your drug enterprise?
Probably about $15,000 to $20,000 a week, because I was scoring like 2 keys at the most, and that's profit.
profit.
That's profit. I ain't talking about you spending
You still
probably
paying everybody else?
32,000 for the bricks, but you got to pay everybody. So profit probably about 15,000, 20,000.
How much you paying for a bird?
Back then it was probably about 16,500.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, right up in there.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on who you get it from.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So
Only in Texas.
yeah,
Hey,
Only in Texas.
yeah,
Everybody else wasn't getting them prices.
yeah.
part.
Shit.
Well, yeah,
We're
man.
not glorifying. We
Nah,
just
we ain't
stating
glorifying.
facts.
But look, so when I get to prison, I'm gonna give you real quick. I get to prison. When I get to prison, you gotta understand people were like paying homage and all that kind of stuff. 'Cause it's, you know, my partners in prison, OG.
Oh, your reputation preceded you.
Yes. And so look, so they wanted me to call the shots, the bloods, et cetera, et cetera. But remember, I'm thinking about my daughter. I'm feeling like I lost out, that I got tricked off the streets.
Yep.
Then Tupac pierced me with the these is G's.
Yeah.
Because I knew, like I told y'all earlier, we started the Bloods because we seen colors.
So you knew where it
Gang
came
bang,
from.
see, gang banging, you know what? And I used to say this in prison. Gang banging wasn't no Texas thing.
No.
It was not.
Gang banging wasn't no Texas thing. That was a
Ice Cube
California thing.
Ice Cube
Yes.
tried to save y'all.
Yeah, that was
Ice Cube
California.
tried to save y'all. Niggas is dying over streets that they ain't even seen.
Hey, man, come on, man. And so look, so the brothers wanted me to call the shots in prison. And so I met this brother. He had been in prison 10 years, and he seen me coming out the chow house. This is how my change happened. I'm already thinking about what I just said, those 3 things. And this brother walked up to me. He was from Houston. You know, Dallas and Houston didn't get along in prison. This dude walked up to me. He was an older brother. And this is the exact thing he said. His name Willie Ray Fleming. He said, little brother. He said, man, all these brothers in here is talking about you, man. They paying homage. They falling out of place. These brothers do whatever you ask them to do. I hadn't even noticed that. I was being me. He said, little brother, if you can lead these brothers to do wrong, within you is the same power to lead them to do right. You're a leader.
Shout out Willie Ray.
Willie Ray Fleming.
That's
Imam Fareed.
Let me ask you
Well,
this.
what you say his name was?
Imam Fareed.
Imam Fareed.
Yes, indeed.
So let's talk about this, because I've heard you and several people talk about how I was, when I was in prison.
Yeah.
What does homage in jail?
Say it again.
Superstar.
Yeah, being paid homage in jail. Like,
It's-
no, I mean it may seem
Now look.
like superstar initially, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
it's when what he just said. When one thing about prison, man, they probably know we doing this podcast right now.
well.
That's how prison is.
Yes.
They know
Thanks
everything.
for watching.
They have a direct line to the streets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They so people know what you did in the streets gonna beat you there. They gonna know. So it was that. It was like little brothers and people coming up saying, OG, because your name is synonymous with the start of the blue. And now you got to understand, in 1997 when I went into prison, even though it was still out, it was still probably about blue, but the number was evening out. So it was like 60-40.
Yeah.
And that was the difference because it always been 100 to 2.
Right.
And so when I got there, it done changed. It done flipped a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it done flipped. It's still more Crips and Bloods, but it done flipped. It's more now. And so these little brothers were coming up, you know, they was just like in awe. But I was going through something in my mind. You know, I was disassociated. I denounced my gang in prison.
Trying to disassociate.
I denounced my gang in prison.
Because of who?
Willie Ray Fleming, and the fact that what I started doing when I was in prison. See, I had been in the streets running so fast.
Yeah.
Prison slowed me down.
Sit that ass down.
It made me sit down, and I started thinking. I said, "Damn, I just left my daughter. My daughter was 2 weeks old when I left.
That affected you.
My mama was looking at me when they sentenced me like she done failed. So I started thinking about all that stuff, right? And I said, man, so what I did, I looked in that mirror, that little forward-looking mirror.
Yeah.
And man, I addressed everything that I saw in me.
It's real.
And I started shedding all of the BS. And I said, man, I'm in prison because we have been tricked to kill each other because we look like each other.
Part. And how was that process?
I'm about to say that
when you are
dangerous.
in an environment where everyone is, I guess,
They bloods looking up
you're
to
gaining notoriety for being the opposite.
Man,
What
the
kind
next
of a
time I
struggle
come
was
here, I'm
that?
going to bring some brothers who was in prison with me, and I'm going to let y'all tell them that.
Come on. We're ready.
I'm going to bring some brothers that was on George Beto 1 unit with me.
Not Beto
and
1.
And I'm going to let them tell you that because everything that I'm saying, I stand on, they going to tell you the same thing.
Absolutely.
They going to say, man, that brother right there.
It had to be dangerous for you in the beginning.
In the beginning, it was like this, right? Because I assumed that brothers were thinking either he doing it because he's scared, or he really done found some new information.
Yeah.
Right? So they were doing that. But because of my reputation, all that good stuff, and I wasn't the baddest person, but because of my reputation, brothers just kind of took a stand back and watch kind of approach, right?
Yeah.
Because I was really working on me.
Yeah.
I was really dealing with me. And then I started teaching in prison.
Ooh.
So so when Willie started mentoring me, I began to read. And I read everything under the sun. I was reading 15, 16 hours a day.
And you didn't read much before then?
Before then, I didn't.
And what did you find that reading did for you?
Man, it took me to a whole different place, man, a whole different understanding. I'm telling you, I was the brother, I went number from 20 to 24. I was the brother who, when your wife quit writing you or your kids quit writing you,
Wow.
they would come to me. Look, I need you to get my family back. And I would write their letters for them. I said, give me a look at your letters. And I write their letters, and their wife be in the visit, or their kids be in the visitation next week.
She like,
I started teaching.
he didn't
It's
write
real.
this.
Hey,
No. You know what I used to do? I would read their letter that their girlfriends, their wives wrote. I would tell them to respond to the letter in their words and their handwriting.
Oh, there you
then
go.
I would write the letter in their handwriting.
Okay.
And then I tell them in my handwriting. Then I tell them to write in their
Oh,
handwriting.
there you go. Because
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
That's
these
real.
ain't
Using their
yours.
words.
that's smart though.
Using their word. But so I started teaching in prison, and I became, like in prison, man, I rose so quick. Brothers, like when I would speak, the lieutenants, the captains, everybody come out because the whole wing, they turn out. They come off them wings. They want to hear. Because I was bringing something fresh, right?
Yeah.
Because I was telling brothers to get to their responsibilities, right? I was saying we got kids out there. Then I was condemning the homosexuality that was going on.
Come on now.
And check this out.
In the jail?
In the prison. Look, I was so naive. Now I'm talking to all of the wolves. I'm talking to the brothers who been locked up 15, 20 years. And I'm condemning homosexuality.
They like, no, wait till you been here
How am I
20
gonna get
years.
some booty? I was like, I can't get no pussy.
Pause.
If somebody from Beto 1, man,
talking
that's
about what they
watching
was
this
saying.
podcast right now, man, I need y'all to check in and let these people know that I'm not telling no fibs.
Yeah.
But I was at the peak, man, but I was really about us as black men getting back to our
That's real.
rightful
That
position.
part.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
Action, a man action.
In prison, I brought brothers together from all gangs and said I had partners that were Bloods, Crips, Gangster, Cypher, all that sitting at the table like this, eating together. You feel me?
As they should.
Because everybody wanted to hang around me, and I would say, only way you can hang around me, you got to accept him.
That part.
And guess what? When you got a Fort Worth cat that's a Crip or a Blood sitting with another Fort Worth, Como, South, all that stuff.
Yeah. That's,
When they sitting at the table, and they
said that was crazy.
They sitting at the table with luck because I was fortunate to have money on my book, so I paid for the spread. So we spreading big.
Eat too.
And ain't nobody finna turn down that food.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you gotta sit at this table. That's your brother.
Don't
And say, bro, and I'm gonna tell you something, man, Bobo. I'm not kidding. I saw on a micro level that we can rise above the BS that the gang gave us, bro.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw the love and the unity. I had brothers who were Crips that would kill for me. Like, I didn't have to fight nobody. I had to fight nobody. If somebody pissed me off because they knew what I stood for, big home, I got there. I'm talking about Crips. Let me get it. All that kind of stuff. But I didn't advocate violence because I was really telling brothers that we have to kill that idea that makes us hate each other.
Yeah.
See, that was my message in prison. We got to kill that idea.
That's real.
And say, man, that birthed everything that I do today.
I'm about to say that's what you on to this day.
That birthed everything I'm on today.
I appreciate that because we need that. I've been saying this for the last month or so. I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it on the show we always talk about the problem.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
I just did something
I'm tired of talking about the problem.
2 days ago, man. It's all about the solutions.
It's all about the solution.
It's all about the solution, man.
Yes. And it's going to take us moving the needle.
Right.
I mean, 2 or 3 people here, 2 or 3 people there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stop the violence.
We got to be real, man.
Yes.
We got to be real. See, this is what I think with most people who do this work, they mess up at, right? They forget that they were once kids.
I forgot where they come from.
That part.
They forget they were once kids too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, when I got out, right, we did the first gang peace treaty in Dallas. We brought East Dallas and Park Road together, the water factor, and 470 gang members signed the peace treaty, right? Madison High School was in South Dallas. That's where East Dallas kids go. That baby was a war zone from the time I was there, before I was there, and afterwards.
Yep.
We began to work with them young people starting in 2000. Madison wouldn't win one football game. Somebody watching, they going to tell them the truth. They didn't win no game. 0 and 100. And look, because if you from East Dallas, I'm not blocking for somebody from Park Road. I'm not blocking for the Crip. Or if I'm a Crip, I'm not blocking for the Blood. That's how they looked at it.
Everybody went together.
They won together. Man, we went into that school. We found some brothers. Shout out to Grover, rest his soul. He was 187 Park Road. That was my brother. Shout out to Doodoo, 187 Park Road. That's my brother. We recruited them, bro. You feel me? I'm gonna tell you how we recruited him.
How?
My brother Omar, rest his soul, he died at 221. My mentor, free world mentor. When I got out, I met him because he was doing work in my neighborhood, right? He was an activist. And I said, man, I want to help my community. And he said, man, if you want to do that, let's go to Park Road. Let's go to the Crip neighborhood and ask for peace. I looked at him, I said, I didn't think that far. I said,
You jumping way.
I said, that's suicide. I said, them dudes last seen me shooting at them, for real. I'm not making this up. They last seen me shooting at them. But he convinced me, right? Because this brother was one of the realest brothers I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I feel like I walked with Dr. King with him. That brother convinced me to go into their neighborhood, fresh out of prison, and ask for peace. Now, I remember we went to this house in his apartment and knocked on the door.
Yeah.
And these dudes looked, right? And they looked out the window.
And
they said, what the And all you heard was guns clacking and feet moving.
Yeah.
And Omar said, put your hands up. So when they snatched the door and they got guns, we like this. And I'm praying, I'm saying, God, I know you didn't bring me this far.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about they got guns pointing at us. I don't even know Omar. He started talking. Man, this brother came over here for peace, man. He wanted to help the neighborhood. And as he was talking, they were lowering their guns. I'm like, please keep talking.
Okay.
Please, God. I'm talking about I can't even swallow.
Don't stop. Get it.
But that day, man, we recruited some Crips, some OG Crips who heard us out.
Yeah.
And we began to work with them young. I was saying this the other day, man. I got some youngsters who were Crips. They grown men now. They love me because I love them unconditionally, and unbiased. See, when I quit gang banging, I let it go.
There you go.
I'm talking about, I didn't slow down and say I'm inactive.
Yeah.
I said the whole philosophy is messed up for our kids. You know, this whole op mentality is messed up for our kids. I let it go. So my message was so pure and it was so real. And it wasn't, you know, I wasn't wearing no red and flag and all in my pocket. I said, no, I'm done with that. And so I had to see, like Pac said, I had to see everybody, even the people who were my enemies, as my brother.
Yeah,
That's
And I
right.
had to really live that.
that's
And
true.
so I walked that walk for the last 23 years of doing that, bruh. And that's been my whole mission. That's been the basis of this book. I talk about in this book because I want another brother who is just like me, or a child who growing up in a neighborhood who having to make the choice between being what the neighborhood say he gotta be or being what his mama want him to be or what his promise is. I want him to know that he can choose the other. That he don't have to succumb to the neighborhood environment influences, that he can choose something else and that we gonna stand with him as he do.
Do you think the choices come from, because we've heard these stories from since colors, right? It's always lack of a male.
You gotta look. I was just in Las Vegas at a maximum security prison speaking to some men, and I took Willie Ray Fleming, my mentor's son, with me because Willie's still in prison. He got out and went back, but I took his son with me, right? 13 years old, and I was talking to the men in Las Vegas, and I was telling them, like, y'all see the violence that's happening around the country? They see it. I said, that violence is directly connected to you sitting in these seats. I said, when I work with kids, and that's all I work with is kids, young boys. I said, if I want to make a kid cry, if I want to make him cry, and I do that every time, all I got to do is start asking about his daddy.
That's it.
When I start asking them kids about their daddy, man, they break down and cry. I'm talking about they can't hold it. They break down and cry, man, because that absence of their father, man, is critical, bro.
I know it.
It's critical, man. So I don't play games with these brothers when it comes to them being responsible, I don't care what your baby mama did. I don't care what she did.
That's real.
You have to fight to be in the life of your child, man.
Yes.
What do you say to people who didn't have a dad?
I'm one of them.
But don't, wait a minute. Didn't have a dad, but didn't go down the wrong path that maybe don't see.
They
Probably
had
to
somebody.
talk down on people who.
And you know what? I got some friends who grew up with me. That's why my message is so rounded, because I got some friends who grew up with me. They come from the same environment. But they didn't make the choices that I made. Super successful, right? They great mentors, they great leaders, they great role models, right? Those are the people that you got to study. Those are people that you got to ask questions. Because oftentimes you don't look at them. See, our community is about who can tell the worst part of our community the best. And we got to get away from that. We got to start telling success. We got to highlight the success. We got to highlight the kids who are doing the right thing.
That's a fact.
You know, and that's important.
Somebody was talking about Smash the other day. Smash the topic. Why he always just show the negative stuff? But you said that no, he don't.
Right.
Smash
what I did yesterday.
Yeah. I read it. So
It's just what you tuning into.
Right.
If you want to find the negative, that's what you're gonna find.
well,
If you're
negative
not
what
looking-
sell.
Exactly.
Charlamagne the God said, "Don't nobody
That's
like the
something
truth."
else.
The truth
But
was-
that's something else that we have to steer clear of. Artists out here that try to put forth the positive message that they laughed at and looked down on. I mean, that's the kind of stuff, that has
You
to
ain't cool.
change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, man, the absence of fathers in kids' life,
It's systemic, bro.
it's systemic, and and as men, we gotta hold men accountable. We gotta hold our partners accountable when they not in their kids' life,
That part.
when they not doing what they supposed. I think most three had a verse on one of them songs saying that about telling his partner to take care of his kid. You gotta, you have to do that, man, because I'm telling you, I work with kids, and man, them kids. When I say, how many of y'all dad to stay with you? Out of 20, probably one. How many of y'all say your dad in the last week? Out of 20, probably two. How many of y'all say your dad in the last month? Maybe three. How many say, and I go on and on, right? And then I say, how you feel about your daddy? and they have some choice words. I hate him. I'm talking about they have some strong words. And these kids, these are teenagers, 14, 15, 13. They say they hate him. And then when I say, why you hate him? Because I be digging. And they say, because he ain't there. Because he left my mama. Because he ain't came to see me.
Yeah.
These are the reasons why, right?
Yeah.
They say that. But I tell the kids this, right? I said, man, look. I said, y'all gonna meet a young girl one day. I said, and you know, I'm just gonna say this, y'all probably gonna get her pregnant. You get her pregnant. It's important that you make the right choices, that you have mentors, that you stay on this path, because you gonna have a little girl get her pregnant, and if you continue down the path that you going, then your kid's gonna be sitting in this seat saying the same thing about you.
Yeah, you gotta break the cycle.
You gotta break the cycle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So my message, this book, everything is about us being accountable, not having excuses for the behavior, not trying to blame it on the system and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's some culpability there, but I think us taking responsibility for our community, us as OGs, being real OGs, like original guys, really giving them some game and not crashing. See, that's why when I hear youngsters say they don't respect OGs, that's because those dudes that's considered OGs are doing the same thing they doing. They ain't getting them nothing. So they don't respect that. But I ain't never ran into no youngster, 23 years of doing this work, I've never ran into no youngster disrespectful. I gotta get into, cause I don't come on that energy.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me? When kids, these youngsters know when you come when you love for real.
Yeah.
When you ain't condemning and criticizing, you really trying to, you showing love.
That's real.
You know, cause the problem with our community is LOL, lack of love. The solution is LOL, a lot of love. You got to give a lot of love to these kids.
That's real.
And I'm not scared of these youngsters. I don't let the media tell me just because he got tattoos, he got this, that he dangerous, he heartless. Because I know that little young dude is me.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know.
Wanting to know what my daddy. Wanting somebody to say, man, you did good. Wanting somebody to say, let me walk you through this terrain so you don't, this landmine so you don't blow up.
Want somebody to be there.
Want somebody to be there, man.
Program.
Yeah,
man.
What's next for you, dog?
Man, I'm traveling. Right now, I'm traveling. I'm writing another book. We got this campaign that we're doing in Dallas, across the country. We started in Dallas called Spring into Action, Summer of Healing, where we just trying to get brothers and sisters who are on the front lines doing the work to connect. We connect and we do something to save our babies, because we know when the summer comes, there's an uptick in violence, right?
Yes,
and so we trying to get people to get active before they become the statistic for what happened to them.
Yes.
Before their mind get idle.
Yeah, we want to help them out. So
you better help them out, or you're gonna be a victim.
You're gonna be a victim, man.
So do me a favor.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got planned for your next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Can you make this your platform home so we can try to move the needle together?
Man, listen.
You know what I mean?
Man, shout out to y'all. I mean, I really mean this, because it takes platforms like this, right? It's not being critical, but it takes platforms like this to highlight these kind of messages. So I feel honored, because when I'm sitting down talking to you, I know you already get it.
Yes.
So it's a different when you're dealing with a platform. You gotta educate them.
Bro, I was in the streets just like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all get
around
it.
the same times you was in.
Y'all get it.
And then it takes it takes a light bulb going off.
Yes.
And if the light bulb don't go off in everyone's head, and you have to almost usher them into the light.
Let me say this to you, bro. I'm gonna say this to both of y'all. When me and Bishop Omar started in 2000, we only had a dream of providing positiveness, doing this whole movement.
Yes.
We just had a dream. We had a vision, right? And at the time, the culture was going this way. We had nothing. We stayed the course, right?
Yeah.
We stayed the course. And now, he passed away. That was my brother. But now, man, my organization, we have about 25 to 30 people that's on payroll.
Beautiful.
They get benefits and dental and all this kind of stuff that came from the idea. See, sometimes, man, you got to understand this, man. You don't reap the harvest in the same season that you planted.
I already know you don't.
Yeah, man. But the harvest coming.
It is. And I told, just like when we started this show.
Yeah.
We may not even be here when it all go down, but we can at least get it steered in the right direction.
Man.
And that'll be our legacy.
Man, and I'm going to say this. God going to bless this show.
I hope so.
God going to bless this show, bro. I see that. God gonna bless this show to be the platform that people come to get this kind of content, bro.
Because this is what we wanted. This was our
Yeah,
dream.
this the impact. This the
Yes.
legacy right here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So I appreciate it being here. I want to just be able to say I came on the show.
Nah,
you know
you
what I'm saying?
coming back.
Yeah, I'm
You
coming back. yeah, this
Let
my
your
home.
brother say he coming back,
Yeah,
right?
coming
Where
back.
can people check out your book, A
Yes.
Redemptive Path Forward?
You can go
From incarceration to
Yes.
a life of activism.
man, they can go on Amazon, they can go on Barnes and Noble, Walmart, anywhere where there's bookstores, anywhere. I was just walking up there and seeing my book in half price books or whatever it is.
Hey,
And how did that feel?
Yeah, it feels-
knowing your journey.
Now
Come on.
it feels good when people like me sending me messages and pictures of them in the bookstore. Are they saying something? So it's a surreal moment, man. But it's a beautiful thing because in this book, man, I gave unadulterated truth. You know, and I didn't write no gangster tale story. So this ain't. If you looking for some war stories and all that, you ain't gonna get that here. You gonna get the education right here.
redemption.
Yeah, you gonna get education, inspiration right here. You ain't getting no. You ain't gonna get no kind of
jail
story.
story.
Yeah, you ain't getting no Donna Gone story. You gonna get the
Hey, not Donna Gone.
Donna going to Robert Beck.
yeah, you ain't getting the
My guys.
Although I read them stories, but you ain't gonna get that right here. I got a forward by my brother Deion Sanders in here.
Ooh, that's strong.
My sister Alice Johnson, I'm flying out to LA with Kim Kardashian. Got her out of prison, so she hosting a private event. So I'm gonna be out there next week. Bob Wilson, he's a president of the Wilson Center, popular guy. You know, I got a bunch of people on, a bunch of other authors on here that signed it. This is a great book, man. I'm not gonna lie. Pick this book up.
I'm gonna tell you something. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it off camera. We're gonna talk about it on camera because I'm gonna get your synopsis on this. My wife is gonna read this book.
Oh yeah.
So
we locked in.
part 2 is you coming back having super tight book club night.
We locked in. Hey, I'm an avid reader. So when she said that, I said, oh yeah, we locked in. So I know we gonna have a conversation.
Yeah,
we locked
and
in.
I just while y'all sitting up chopping it up about the book, I'll be here
Yes.
Taking cliff notes.
taking cliff notes, throwing my jabs in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I always keep it for the streets.
Yes, indeed.
You got some shout outs, brother?
Man, I just want to say, man, if you listening right now, man, make sure y'all go subscribe to this podcast, right? This is the best podcast in the business right now. Bruce Wayne said that. And then you can follow me, man. Follow me on Antong Speaks on all of my social medias and my website, antonspeak.com. You're going to get some merch. I got some merch on there. But
And
this is the podcast.
ANTONG. Okay.
Yeah. Not Antoine.
Yeah, Antong. Yeah, I don't know what my mom was thinking about.
Hey,
But I'm rolling with it.
That's cool though.
Hey, but it's the hottest podcast in the city right now. I'm telling y'all, man. Super Tight TV with Bobo Lucci. I know it, my girl Jazzy.
Hey, let me tell y'all, we're gonna accept that.
Yeah.
we'll take it.
We're gonna take that and we're gonna accept those blessings.
Yes.
And y'all support this brother, man. Go out and get this book. We are laying a serious foundation for everyone to come and get something.
Yes.
From this platform.
Yes.
I mean, whether it be you want to learn about your favorite artists, but if you want to learn about how we can move this needle,
Yes.
we're going to have brothers like Silky Slim.
That's my brother.
We're going to have brothers like Antong Lucky.
Yes.
We're going to have brothers like Corey Cleghorn. We're going to have brothers like JoJo, Uncle JoJo come through. We are going
Flyway Holly.
Yes.
Holly too fly. Yeah, he in the building too. You need to get him on the cat. He's sitting over there. Yeah, you got to get him on the class too.
He got a story to tell.
He got a story to tell, man. That's a talented brother, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, man.
Well, we'll set that up.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming through.
Man, I appreciate
I
it.
know my wife appreciates you coming
Thank
through.
you. I appreciate
You know what I'm saying?
y'all.
Y'all learn something today, fellas? Y'all feel motivated?
Y'all go follow this podcast right now.
Y'all follow and subscribe.
Subscribe
to the
right
podcast,
now.
man.
Don't just
Come on.
watch. Subscribe.
That's real, man.
And comment.
Hey,
man.
Hey, check this out. I got Bruce Wayne in the building. Wait a minute, stop.
Get it right.
I did get it right.
Yes, he did.
Where did Bruce Wayne come from?
Yeah. Man, you know what? Real quick, when I got out of prison, right, and I wanted to do right by my community, every time I would go somewhere, my other name, it had some kind of attachment to it.
Yes.
And I could never get ahead because somebody always had a story. So I had to change my name, and I think of something that represented me. So if Batman was trying to save Gotham City, he was a businessman, a decent man, but at night he fighting crime, man. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just fighting time right now. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
And that's Bruce with an S, y'all.
Yeah, BRUSE, WANE.
That's real, baby. Y'all check him out, man. Bruce Wayne in the building. Antoine Lucky, a real super tight guest.
Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get the low love from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.